Season 51, War number 8, we've matched up here against Inda, and the bands are Crossbones, Null, Maestro, Venom, and Mole Man. I'm going to be joining War today with a team of Gorr, Silk, and Tigra, and I had an 8-fight war for this one. However, I'm going to say it right now, 3 of the fights, all of them being mini-bosses, did not record. And basically, the big reason why is because at the end of my third mini, a lot of the phone was kind of lagging, and then I was just like, I'll refresh my phone. And after I hit stop record on my screen record feature, I didn't give the recording time to save, so when I started restarting my phone, it just got lost. So, unfortunately, I do not have the clips, but I am going to talk about how those fights went and give you suggestions if you should assign them yourself or not, because I still want to go over what the fights were, because I do like talking to you guys about potential assignments and stuff. So here we're going to start on Path 8 against this Guardian. This is a pretty easy Gorr fight. You just kind of get to a special 3 with a bunch of debuffs, and just like normal Gorr fights go, he's going to die. We don't ever knock him down outside of the actual SP3 to give him a cruelty buff, and that means that he basically just doesn't get any of the nodes here, because the cruelty buff is really the only main problem. And yeah, we just SP3 and then he is going to die just like that. So next up, we're gonna fight Hulk on node 17, and for the most part, Silk just kind of shuts off the main threat of this fight. And that is just the fact that Hulk will eventually go unstoppable, and that's basically it. Like, the nodes are frustrating just because he will reduce your defensive ability accuracy, but that's the large portion of the fight. Another thing that can, I think, go wrong is, like, when you're trying to count to Hulk's 15 Furies, some of, like, the passive ones he might get in the way of your math, but he didn't gain enough passive Furies for that to really matter. And then, yeah, we're in his big, rage mode or whatever, and I'm gonna go for a parry, and then it's gonna fail, and then I won't realize it and combo anyway. So that could have been very bad. If he threw a special attack, we'd have just evaded it. But if he decided to just punch me with basics, man, that would have hurt so much. So I definitely lucked out there. So we throw the SP3, and basically how Silk works in War is you throw the SP3 and the fight is over, because if you're running power backs, which you should be doing, you just lock them in a cycle to which they will just die. And we didn't even get to use the SP2 with the triple fury and the sunder and all the burst damage at the end, and it would have been, just a very good time. So yeah, basically Silk in War, you just get to SP3 and the fight's over. But alright, so this fight is Path 4 Dust, and I am using combat regen boost. This was a big mistake. I know you're supposed to use a Power Start 1 for this fight, and I didn't, because I just simply didn't think I'd need it, because I was just like, I'll just get to an SP3 and the fight's over. Like, that's literally the only hard part, is getting to an SP3. So we just get there and then GG's. So I should have used a Power Start 1. The reason I didn't use a Power Start 1 is because I am dangerously low, and sometimes I need 2 of them a war, so if I could get away with not using one, I was going to. And this is where the problems are going to start. I just go for a classic normal light intercept. She combos me because AI sucks. And then she throws a random heavy that I could have countered. If I counter that heavy, the fight is not going to go as bad as it does. If I counter that heavy, I'm at SP3, the fight's over. Here, I try to go for an intercept, and she doesn't go for it. So now I'm going to do something that made sense at the time, but in hindsight doesn't. And I'm going to do a wall dex, something I do a lot, and then I mistime it and die. So, she didn't dash in when I thought she'd dash in, and I'm dead. So, that's the second death of my season, and the first time I have died to a path fight in 3 seasons, which is killer, man. Really upsetting, just very upset with how that went. So, I revive, I go back in, and we're just still not using Power Start 1, because I guess I'm stubborn, and we're just going to see how it goes. Another thing I could have done on the last attempt was simply just wait for the steady build-up debuffs to fall off, because then she wouldn't be unblockable again, and I could just go for a simple parry, and then I'd be at SP3. So I basically chose the dumbest thing I could have possibly done, even though it should have been just easy, because I do corner dexes all the time. And there, I got parried, because, yes, I just trying to do an intercept again, she dashes back and then parries me, so lovely. I hate this so much. Anyway, here I'm gonna do the smart thing, wait the debuffs out, and now I can just go for a parry. She's gonna be at 3 debuffs when I go for the parry, but the actual blocked hit triggers before the unblockable, so yeah, fight's over here. I just screwed that first attempt up so bad. Like, if I power start 1, I win. If I invul boost, I probably still win. If I don't go for a corner dex, I probably win. If I just wait for the debuffs to fall off, I probably win. If I actually countered the heavy she whiffed, I win. I don't even know. It should have been such an easy fight, but whatever. Second death of the season. It is what it is. So, next up, last path fight is going to be against Arcade on node 31, yeah. And I was pretty confident going into this fight because Gorr is immune to heal block, so there's not really any way he goes unblockable unless I get a poison or just another damage over time debuff on myself, because realistically I will get 1 debuff from Power Sting, 1 debuff from the Torment on his SP1 just from when he places the cloud, and then I'll never hit a 3rd if I just don't get a damage over time on me, or just don't really go into the cloud again, which shouldn't happen because the Torment doesn't last very long. So yeah, just like that. And then I block it, which I'm pretty good at the dex, but still, I didn't want to risk getting that 3rd debuff. And yeah, so I dash in usually during Arcade's special 1 just to not be on top of the cloud, and also just gives me an easier actual counter, so I'll take it. And here I'm just going to take his SP2 on block because there's no reason to try to dex it in War when I have clarity to prevent the auto block anyway. So yeah, we just go for the SP3 in a moment. I was going to let the Power Sting fall off, which I didn't really need to do because this SP3 always kills anyway, and I forgot I'd get another Power Sting unless I hit 10 combo anyway, so yeah, I didn't really need to do any of that, but the fight's over, so there we go. Now we move on to the mini-bosses, and specifically the ones I didn't record first. The last mini-boss I do have recorded, so there's that. And the first one is Mysterio on node 37. I took this with Gorr, obviously, and he counters the threat pretty fine because you have Despair and Poisons to counteract the personal space regen. And then none of the other nodes really come into play. Placebo doesn't really matter, and then I don't think I'm ever triggering the node that gives power gain. So yeah, I soloed that fight pretty easily. I didn't even use an SP3 because I kind of just pushed Mysterio to SP2s, so I had the power drain on me. And then I threw an SP2 of my own, and then like the Furies and damage over time was just plenty, especially since I'm playing a rank 3 Gorr, and I was pretty heavily boosted, so that was a pretty easy fight. So next up, Serpent on node 42. I was not originally supposed to take this fight, but I saw a clip of another battle group taking it with Symbiote Supreme, and it looked very bad. It looked very messy, so I changed the assignment mid-war to give myself the fight with Tigra, which I was worried about because I didn't really know how it was going to go. I've never Tigra'd a Serpent in War before. It went perfectly fine. The thing you need to do in that fight is make sure you just have the neutralize up for when Serpent throws an SP2 and only pushing SP2s. If you neutralize his true focus, then you can just miss the projectiles, counter it like usual, and then it's just GG's after that. So, really fine time. Yeah, I got the solo. It was probably like a 2-minute fight because it's still Serpent. He's just really tanky, and then he'll shut off Tigra's unblockable sometimes. So, yeah. Definitely a fight that I wish I had recorded because it was a really good one. And then the last one was Shocker on node 47, which was a Gorr fight, obviously. And then I soloed this one. Gorr's just really good for it because you don't really need wags because you have the Undermine to just ramp your clarity anyway. And yeah, I got the solo there. The actual miss portion, Gorr doesn't really counter, but he was able to kill fast enough just because, again, I'm playing a rank 3 Gorr, that it didn't really matter too much. I think I got like 1 falter on me, and I didn't even try to prevent any of the other ones. Like, I just waited out the falter duration, did a bunch of damage, and it was pretty fine. So, yeah, I do have my last fight recorded because this was after I restarted my phone. and we're taking this Onslaught on node 49, a fight I've taken many times. I don't think I've ever died to it, but holy crap, I came very close to dying in this fight, and it's just largely because the AI just sucked, and that's just something you have to deal with when playing Tigra sometimes. Like there, no heavy attack, there he finishes a combo, there dashes back. Like, dude, I need my first heavy this fight. He keeps dashing back. Like, please throw a heavy. Over half of my sense duration is already gone. So I'm just like, and then I don't know what happened there. I just lose my blocks, so now I'm panicking. I'm throwing my SP1 to refresh his sense. I eat his SP1 because I don't even know how I messed it up. I almost always get that down. So now I'm taking a bunch of Neuroshock damage. I don't have any willpower because of despair from his organic magnetism. The Neuroshocks are almost gone, but like I have to somehow get myself back into this fight. I anti-bait a special one. He full combos again. And then I finally get a heavy attack off. He has the crush. The special attack removes it. I'm going to be at another SP2 because Tigra with power backs and polka dot power is just completely absurd. And then he's going to die. So I finished the fight at 17%. That is by far the closest I've ever come to dying to that fight. And man, I'm so glad I max boosted because I honestly could have died. So, yeah. We did lose the war. So that's the third loss in a row. And we are barely in Plat 1 now, which is a huge misstep. Coming off of finishing Masters last season, but our opponents only died twice, so I mean not twice, 5 times. So they played very well. So GG's to them. They definitely deserved the win. We had a bunch of silly mistakes, including of course my fight, which was just completely a silly mistake. Should have been avoided in like 5 different ways if I just turned my brain on. So. Yeah, unfortunate. So now we're 3-5 on the season, which is really bad. But the Masters dream might still be alive. We'll have to see with the upcoming wars. We definitely have to win out, that's for sure. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry that I didn't get the fights recorded. I definitely learned my lesson about restarting my phone when I need a screen recording to save. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed anyway, and I will see you in the next video.